Well, hello, I'm Larry Stair. I hope that we still know each other. It seems like it's been forever since we've had a quarterly leadership meeting, and this month is no exception. It just seems like time has gotten away from us with Christmas on the corner and all of the special events that are going on. So I thought rather than trying to get together, I would just make a YouTube video, send you a link, try to keep this as short as possible, give you the most important and pertinent information, and we'll get back on track in the spring. So, with all that said, let me put my slides up here and let's begin to talk about our quarterly leadership things. I know it's time. There's not any graphs or statistics this time. We're just going to try to hit the high points real quick. And so, super simple agenda this time. And so, I'm going to pray. We're going to talk about Sunday, the December the 26th, because many of you have asked about that. I've begun to receive some emails about it. I want to touch base on some attendance issues that we just kind of need to get all on the same page with. Relocation plans, so that you're up to date on that. Literature, and then I said question and answer, but if you have questions, I'll try to answer them. You'll just email me later on, okay? So with that, let's get started with a word of prayer, shall we? Gracious Heavenly Father, I thank you for those who are so faithful to lead in our adult Bible studies each and every week, Lord. They have done a tremendous job, not only in 2021, but in 2020 as well, Lord. I am so fortunate to work with such a talented and dedicated group of followers of Christ, Lord. As we look to the future in 2022, Lord, help us to begin to think about developing new leaders, developing new additional units, and finding spaces for the people who are coming to First Baptist, Lord. So we're not just integrating them into full rooms, but we're integrating them into places of fellowship where they can grow and experience God with us together. Be with us as we move through the holiday season. Keep us safe. I pray this in your name. Amen. Well, let me go back to the sheet here and kind of advance forward. And so let's talk real quickly about Sunday, December the 26th. And so here are the big things that you need to know, the things that you need to be putting in your email, the things that you need to be stressing to your class this Sunday and next, okay? And so the first of those is no in-person worship or Bible study on the 26th. And so that Sunday after Christmas, we're not going to have in-person worship, and we're not going to have Bible studies. You can adjust your schedules accordingly for Bible study. You might want to teach a little ahead, and then be catch up a little bit from being behind and skipping that one Sunday, the Christmas Sunday. But anyway, this is important. There will be a pre-recorded worship experience that will become available at 8:30 a.m. on December the 26th and can be viewed anytime during the day. That worship service will be an on-demand stream. It will be available from fbcrr.org/live, and it will also be live on our social media sources as well. So that's Facebook, YouTube. If you haven't done the YouTube thing, one of the things that I think is cool about YouTube is just about every modern television has the YouTube channel put in. Well, you can put in that FBCRR YouTube channel address, go copy it, type it in one time, save it, and then you can just play First Baptist content straight from our service provider to your television. It's pretty cool how it works. And so, but anyway, as we move forward with that, there's just some other things that are important as we move in through the holiday season. But one is making sure that we have a worship service, making sure that people know that we won't be here in person, that the lights will be off on the 26th here at the building. And we're doing everything we can to let people know. And I think that worship experience is going to be quality. It's going to it's not going to be a Christmas service. It's going to look to the future. And I'm excited about that. So with that said, let's keep moving through the content, shall we? And so let's talk about attendance and roll sheets real quick. And so as we think about attendance and roll sheets, there's a couple things that I really want to kind of stress to you so that you can stress this to your group as well. Continue to encourage the use of the check-in stations and the Shelby membership app. Both of those are easy ways to get checked in. You get a name tag. I'll touch on that in just a second. But getting people checked in is important. It helps us in lots of different ways. But we also need to be checking for accuracy. One of the things that I hope that you would do is that you would get a couple of people in your class who are technology friendly. Let us know who they are so we can add them to the leadership of your group so that they can do attendance. And so what they'll be able to see is the attendance coming in, and they'll be able to add anyone who kind of was running late, maybe skip the process, or there are the Sundays that get backs up and people skip and then they don't get back around to it. Somebody comes in late, those kinds of things. But double checking for accuracy is really important. The other thing is making sure that you've checked your roles and that the people who are attending your class are on your roll. And so I think that's important as well. And so let's talk about that double checking weekly issue. And so it's important to double check your attendance just to make sure everybody's there. Like I said, appoint 2 or 3 people to work with the app for your group at the end of class so that everybody gets checked in. We'll add them to your team. It's a real simple process. And then contact Karen or I about making changes. One of the things that is happening in the kiosk is that you literally can pick any group that meets on Sunday morning. When you go to select the little box by your name, like I point in space. Select the little box by your name. If you touch the blue line, the class below you, it'll show you all of the classes below you that are available, and you can pick other classes. And so getting people on your roll kind of sets that shortcut. And so that's very helpful. So if you have questions about that, see me, see Karen. We'll help you get that set up. It's also important you don't have to do that live. Like I have a senior adult ladies class, and there's a lady that just kind of makes a note on a piece of paper. She's got a little spreadsheet that she does, and she goes home and she does it at her leisure on Sunday afternoon. Karen pulls the attendance for me and for record mid-morning on Monday. And so we just ask that you get your attendance in mid-morning on Monday. And so name tags and guests. Let's talk a little bit about name tags and guests real quick. First, encourage the use of name tags. The obvious one is they help us learn people, learn names. And so a lot of times we've been really bad at First Baptist to go, I know that person goes to our church, but I don't know their name. I'm not going to embarrass myself by revealing that I don't know their name. But name tags help us learn one another, and that's very important for building fellowship, especially as our church begins and continues to reach new people. Getting to know one another is important. The other thing is, and we don't make a big deal of this, but it helps with building security. When we are dealing with our children in preschool areas, we want to make sure they have name tags. We want to make sure that the right people are in the right places. And if they don't have a name tag, we have kind of ways and people that will move them to other areas of the building. The other thing is it helps gain more teaching time. This is one of the side benefits of doing check-in out in the hallway is we've moved that check-in process, something that happens either in an app or very quickly in the hallway, making it a family-friendly affair. And that reduces that time that we spend taking roll in a class. A minute or two here or there, it adds up. And I think that's important that we kind of keep those 3 things in mind. There are other things, but those are the big ones. Guests, when we talk about guests, We now have a registration station in the FLC right outside the office. You'll see Nicole and Karen there. They're set up with a wireless printer and a laptop to enter families straight into the system, get them in the right class and on to Bible study. Love the accuracy of information that we get from that system. But we also know that not every class, that doesn't work for every class. And so coming in January, we're going to have paper copies of guest slips available in somewhere in each room. I don't know exactly how we'll do that. We may tuck it behind the name badge or something just so that you have easy access to that. But we're probably not going to go back to the notebook system just because it saves paper and clutter around the building, those types of things. But we are listening to the feedback that we're getting from you and trying to move forward in with attendance and those kinds of things. And so that's a word about attendance. Big recap, check in, make sure the roles are accurate, a registered guest so that we can contact them. And when you get those interactions that you've been assigned a guest, be quick to make contact with them so that we are the friendly First Baptist Church that we talk about. So that's very important. So let's move on and let's talk a little bit about kind of the changes that are coming with relocation plans, literature, those types of things. So relocation plan. Let's touch on that just real quick. Melva is retiring, if you haven't heard that. And so Tracy Mayo will become the children's minister to preschool and children. So Tracy is going to take over the leadership of both of those ministries, and we're going to combine them into one children's ministry. And so I think that's going to be a good move for our church in the short term. Hopefully we'll outgrow the other plans that were made, but we've got space to move first through fifth grade down to the first floor. And so there, sometime in the early to mid-spring, we'll be readjusting space and we'll be moving first through fifth graders down to the first floor and some empty rooms that are on the first floor. That's going to free up rooms on the second floor. We've already got an adult class meeting on the second floor in one of the empty rooms, but some of those spaces will become available for adult groups that are needing room to grow. They're a little bit larger rooms. There's not a lot of them, but there are larger rooms, and we'll be making some adjustments to where some of the classes meet, especially our classes that are younger and more mobile or would like to be closer to the children. And we'll be, as that unfolds, we'll be showing you ways to like get through the building, because we're not going to unlock any more doors. You're still going to have to kind of come through some areas so that we have good building security, but we will be kind of making some changes to that. And then finally, there's no firm timeline for this. And so obviously Melville retires on the 19th. I hope that you've gone online and you've made your video, your short 10-second video thanking Melva for her impact and your family. Go to that FBCRR .org/Melva page. There's instructions on how you can participate in an offering, do a thank you video, and times for the reception and all that sort of stuff. And so let me encourage you to, because Melva's ministry and Tracy's and Tim's do a lot to support what we're able to accomplish in the adult ministry. And I never want to downplay that, the importance of those ministries in making it possible for adults to do Bible study, and why it's important for us as we have people that are ready for leadership, that they get involved in those preschool children and student ministries. And I'm going to have to learn to say children and student ministries. And so help me with that. Okay. But no firm guidelines as we talk about the relocation plans. So just to recap, Tracy's becoming the children's minister. We're going to rebrand those preschool and children's ministries to just one ministry called Children's Ministry. First through fifth grade are moving down, and then that'll free up some spaces late in the spring quarter for adults to move downstairs. And so let's keep moving on. I tried to make this as short as possible. So let's talk about the literature order real quick. So Lifeway has made some great changes to literature this year. And I think more are coming as they really begin to move towards preparing to come to Bible study ready with a base of information about what we're going to discuss. So we're all kind of learning ahead, so to speak. And I think that's going to be important. They're also continue to move more and more to digital. There's no longer a discount for early ordering. The discount is for your digital subscriptions now. And so the more people that we move to digital delivery of the Sunday school material, the better stewardship that we become. So continue to encourage the use of digital literature in the Gospel Project, Explore the Bible, and Pathways groups. And so, yes, Pathways has a digital option as well. And so we're able to, in all three of those lines now, we're either able to email you. As for Pathways, we'll email you the PDF and you download that into your device, your Kindle or your iPad. Or with the Lifeway system, you're able to just go in and get what you want each and every week. And so the only one we don't have a direct delivery method for that works really well is the Master Works literature. So, but anyway, I want to thank you for being good stewards of literature. For recycling literature, we've had a source where we've been able to put a lot of that used literature back in the hands of people. That doesn't always happen. I took it to the recycling center today, 4 boxes that we collected back. But for this next order session, which will be coming out in January, we're not gonna be ordering as early because we don't have to now because of the way they redid the discount. But it's going to be important to get an accurate projection, especially as we get more and more people coming back to the building, and those kinds of things. So that's important as we move into the next order cycle. Well, it looks like I've reached the end of my slideshow. There is one thing that I do want to go back and touch on. There is some confusion about what do we do with people who are still Zooming in. I know classes are going to continue to move back and forth and have members that Zoom in or don't Zoom in. I think we've reached a point in the life of our church where if they're in Bible study, whether they're in person, on Zoom, on the phone, they're part of our Bible study. When we talk about worship numbers, we've begun to talk about the 180-ish people that tune into our worship service live or in a recorded format. There's no reason to not do that in Bible study. And so I didn't really touch a lot on that, but if they're in Bible study in person, on a Zoom call, on a phone call, let's just count them. They're just part of our fellowship, and we're going to continue to grow that avenue because teaching people the Bible in Round Rock is so very important. Well, I'm to the end of the content that I wanted to share with you. If you've got questions, comments, or answers, just feel free to email me. That's lstehr, STEHR, at FBCRR.org. And that's my email address. You can call me or text me at my desk phone, which is 512-962-9330. Love to hear from you that way as well. And so that's the quarterly leadership meeting, and done very quickly, I know. But anyway, from Jeannie and I do want to say thank you to how we work together for the advancement of the gospel in the area of discipleship. And Jeannie and I would like to say thank you for your friendship, for the support and encouragement that we receive from you. It's been a good year. It's been a stressful year. It started out really crazy. I'm looking forward to what God's going to do in 2022. I hope you are as well. But before we get to 2022, I hope that you will take time and you will celebrate the real reason for this season. And I'll be praying for you as you do that. Well, with that said, let me put the logo up and we'll call it good for today. Thank you.